Hey, everybody, welcome back to another edition of Inside Lion Athletics. The weeks go by really quick this time of year. We've got, let's see, a full stack in front of us today. Jaret von Rosenberg, head coach of the Lion men. Valerie King, head coach of the women, and bringing Reza Po along with her. We'll have softball coach Brittany Miller. George Pincock's got some track and field updates, and Oguz Uyar, one of the Lion tracksters. He's going to be on with us as well. Starting off, though, with head coach Jaret von Rosenberg. Rose, tough one last night. That was such a wild game. There were some big pendulum swings, but New Orleans just, they were shooting at big buckets.
Yeah, we just didn't defensively, we didn't do enough early. I think we had some really good defensive possessions where they made shots, but then the bucket opened up so much for them, and then we made some mistakes. And I say make mistakes. We lost Benson 30 feet from the basket. It's not like we, let him right by the rim. But he really got it going, and he hit some big shots that extended their lead when we were struggling to score offensively. Um, so, it's really good to see our guys, with everything that's been going on, injuries. We're down to 7, 8 players. But to see them battle back and get all the way within six, after going down 24 at that 16-minute mark of the second half was a positive sign. I mean, it's easy to lay down in those scenarios, but we got good character in our locker room and guys that want to compete and want to do well. So good to see them come back and really give us a chance. We cut it to six with a lot of time left in that game.
Mm-hmm. The mountain was there to be ascended. Coach, it's a spark that always leads to a run, whether you've got the lead or whether you're trying to play catch up. What plays really established a little bit of more positive rhythm when we started making that big comeback?
Well, it's hard. We got great shots early in the game, and we just got to do a better job of making shots when we get wide open. If you look at our shot quality compared to theirs in the first 5 minutes, we got way better shots offensively than they got. But they made them when we missed them, and that's hard to handle as a team. When you get open looks, you get shots at the rim, and you don't make them, and then another team, you think you do a great job defensively. Uh, so to answer your question, we got a few stops and a few shots went in, and then guys feel good about what they're doing, and I kind of want to say their natural ability and their talent level just kind of shows up, and they stop thinking about the scoreboard, and they start playing better. We got to find a way, and I keep saying it, but we got to stop worrying about the scoreboard so much and try to compete and just do whatever we can from the beginning. Um, and it's obviously easier said than done, but the message isn't going to change. The guys are capable of, we put up 50 in the second half last night. The guys are capable of doing really good things on both sides of the ball. We just got to find a way to hone it in and do it consistently.
Burt West, my old pal that coached at East Texas Baptist all those years, he used to always describe himself as, I'm horrible at X's and O's. That's what I have assistants for. He says, but I'm a good people person and I just happen to be a basketball people person. Sometimes you just gotta to work with the guy and not worry about crossovers or
Yeah, no,
yeah.
that's a good point. We got to get our guys in a good mindset and in a good place. Yeah, I think they're also worried about the record and what's going on, instead of playing basketball and going out and competing. And it's good and bad that we don't have a lot of time to stew on this stuff with all these games on top of us. But um, we got to find a way to get our guys. It's funny, one win or playing one, getting one game to go our way could kind of change a lot of things. And there's a lot of season left. I keep saying it because it's true. I mean, it's amazing where we sit and how bad it's been for the last 4 weeks as far as our results on the floor. But everything we want to do is still right in front of us, and we got to try to find a way to really believe that and go take advantage of it.
So what teachable moments or biggest, the first or foremost from this one to get ready for the next game, which is Wednesday, tomorrow against Northwestern?
Well, yeah, there's multiple, there's 10 or 12 possessions where guys do things that they know they're not supposed to do, they know that's not going to give us the best chance to win, but they're pressing. And if you can start eliminating those where you just take a shot that you think's going to turn into a 13-point play, uh, you got to just eliminate those altogether. You can't have any of those, especially, you talk about when you're on a run, you're trying to come back. Those hurt you, man. They're just killers when you're talking about making a run. Um, but it goes the other way at the beginning, like when they go, they shoot, they throw in some shots and they go up eight, and then we come down and don't make a pass and just shoot a shot that's not going to work, that doesn't count for 8 points. We just got to eliminate those possessions altogether.
Gianni Hunt, really solid night last night, especially at the free throw line. Coach, what was it, 13 out of 14, and that got him up into the top 10 in the Lion record books.
Yeah, he did a great job attacking. And he had some of those possessions too.
Mhm.
He wants so badly to do well. He wants us to do well. Um, and we just got to eliminate, he had a lot of great plays. We got to eliminate those plays where uh, he's trying to make a 10-point shot. And multiple guys did it. And that's the part. Like if you look at it and going back to teachable moments, if they can see it and understand, like, all right, well, this is not going to help us. And you kind of eliminate those, uh, you have a better chance going into a game, especially a tight game. New Orleans or Northeastern is obviously struggling for buckets as well. Northwestern, I said it wrong 3 times. Um, they're struggling for wins, so it's going to be two teams that are really hungry. But I think the team that stays within themselves and continues to play is going to have the best chance to win tomorrow night.
Coach, as much of a kind of a length advantage that New Orleans had, that's not the kind of team you're going to be going up against tomorrow night. Northwestern's just not built the same way.
Yeah, they're all different teams. That they don't have the offensive firepower that New Orleans has. Um, but even with their record, they get after it. That's what was, from my eyes, it was great to see us last night. Things not going our way at all, but for us to continue to compete and really play and believe that we were going to come back in that game. That's a good sign because a lot of teams in this situation losing a bunch of games and not in a good spot in the standings. It's easy to mail it in a little bit and worry about something else besides what's going on. But I don't think with our leadership in that locker room and the guys in there and their character that we're going to do that. We just have to play better. And we can't worry about what's happened in the past. We got to worry about what's right in front of us. Again, because there's not a lot of time to dwell on anything. Got to look at those teachable moments, and we got to find a way to get to our guys and make them understand it and try to get a win tomorrow night.
All right, Coach, you all of a sudden your roster changed. You don't have Mike Falarin for a while. I think Alex is done too. Your bench suddenly got a little bit shorter.
Yeah, we've got eight healthy bodies. So that's part of it. We're not going to make any excuses for that. The guys that are out there, they're good enough for sure to get things done, and that's what we're going to focus on.
All right. Well, Coach, it's a short clock between last night and tomorrow evening when we play. Thanks for joining us this morning, and hey, we'll see you down in Natchitoches.
You got it. Go
All
Lions.
right, lines up, everybody. We'll be right back with more Inside Lion and Athletics after this. Hey, everybody, welcome back. Some more Inside Lion Athletics. We starting out with basketball first. Jaret von Rosenberg already in the box with us. Now we have Valerie King, whose Lion women have all of a sudden got on a two-game win streak. And coach, you can look all around you. You don't have to share. eighth place with anybody at the moment. You don't mind climbing a little higher while there's still time.
Yeah, obviously it was a big week for us getting to home wins this past week. And still 10 games left in the conference. So, I think that's the most important thing for our kids to know is how much time that we still have to, keep climbing back up to where we should be.
Talk about those wins, especially the one on Saturday, but excuse me, the one on Thursday when Reza Po only went off for 33. She didn't do bad Saturday either. Only it was only 24 points though.
Yeah, I mean, Thursday night we were really good offensively, top to bottom. We really moved the ball. We shared the ball. We had 25 assists. Obviously, Riza was on the end of that where she was getting, step in threes. She was getting some drives to the basket. So, obviously really good offensively Thursday. Moving to Saturday, the first half, we weren't very good offensively. Ball was kind of being, we stalled a little bit, weren't moving the ball as well as we were against New Orleans. So, second half was much better. We were able to get some reversals, get some drives at the basket, so using our ball screens a little bit better. So, we got out of our funk there in the second half and I think we scored 46 points in the second half.
It was a fine game. Lions are now 5-7 in conference. The great thing about the win over Nichols, they're just half a game in front now.
Yep,
It takes
that's
one
right.
matchup, and you are climbing a little bit higher. And it's not that some of the teams up, I mean, even up to SFA, who's you're going to see this weekend, uh, they're within reach.
Yeah, I mean, we're a couple games out, and that can turn quick, again, we've talked about it. You can lose any night of the week in the league. You can win any night of the week in the league. So, just, getting ourselves prepared to play SFA and Northwestern State this week, and just taking it one game at a time.
Leonard Bishop's squad has been a little bit better since we saw them. They're up to, let's see, 9-4 right now. They're alone in fourth. But it's going to be the same thing when we play them. They got theirs and we got ours. Roll them on the floor and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, when we saw him here, we were really good offensively. We broke their press. We were able to hit some threes. We were able to get it into the middle of the zone where we want to get those, short little shots at the front of the rim. We were able to hit our fives, ducking into the basket. So we were good offensively against them. If we get those same shots and we make them, it'll be up for grabs again, just like it was here. Defensively, we've got to be a little bit better in ball screen coverage. We were able to cover a little bit of it. They missed some shots, they missed some layups. Um, but we've got to be better in defensive transition, obviously, just because of how fast they play, and being able to be better in our ball screen coverage.
Coach, every basketball coach I know says playing good defense will lead to good offense or at least to extra scoring opportunities.
Mhm.
The girls, Juanita's here. The flip side, can offense sometimes lead into better defensive play just because you feel a little more locked in?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think you feed off of what you're doing good at the time. We were able to turn SFA over 18 or 19 times the first time we played them. So that
Hmm.
really fed into our confidence level, being able to push in transition and get some easy buckets. But again, I mean, I do. I think scoring can also give us confidence on the defensive end, especially just stepping up, and just being locked in and knowing what our assignment is.
You know, if anybody personified defense helps lead to offense, it might be Alva Hedrich. You know, she
Yeah.
got back on the boards, what, eight or nine of them in the last game. Didn't score a point, but she sure contributed.
Yeah, I mean Alva's been really good for us, she defends, she rebounds. So now when she's able to score some points anywhere between 4, 8, 10 points a game,
Hmm.
obviously that's a huge, huge thing for us. But I think her confidence level has just risen. And I think she's gaining that on the defensive end. but also, she's able to catch and lay some in. She's hit a couple outside shots. Obviously, that gives you some confidence too.
All right. Well, confidence ain't nothing like it when you hit what, 6 3-pointers and don't miss very many. And this kind of why you didn't you recruit Reza when you were at New Mexico?
Well, well, we wanted to recruit her here out of high school. She ended up going to UNM first, uh,
Okay.
and then we got her. So
Well, it worked out just fine, is what I
it
would
did. It
say.
worked out great for us. That's for sure.
So, how much would you like to have had Brittany Jordan on your team, the
Yeah.
all-time record holder for like everything?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. If
Reza
you can have the best player in the league on your team, you're
Yeah,
sitting pretty.
okay. Well, I don't think she has any more eligibility, but
Yeah.
it just for context, and I didn't get to see Brittany play. This was before my time here too.
Yeah.
But 57 points in one game. That is the Lion women's scoring record. And I think she has 8 of the top 10 scoring performances of all
Yeah.
time. But Reese's got her name on that list now.
Yeah.
And
She's on her way.
that's great. Yeah, we're gonna have fun
Yeah.
talking with her about that. It was a great game. All right, Coach, what do you think? It's first up, it's going to be Northwestern. A little bit about Anna Nim squad and what you're expecting in that one Thursday.
Yeah, I mean they run a lot of dribble drive offensive stuff. They're very sound on the defensive end. They will play fast. They also like to control the pace. So um, I think they're going to try to slow it down against us a little bit and try to
Mhm.
run some sets and try to make us be able to guard them in the half court. We've got to get the pace where we want it, which is obviously that starts on the defensive end so that
Mhm.
we can get stops, clean defensive rebounds, and be able to run in transition. That's where it'll start for us. But I mean, they've got some really good players. They've got Nia Valentine at the point guard for them. She's as dynamic as they come. Can really shoot it. She's a lot like Reza for us. She can really shoot the three. She can drive it. She can get to the basket. And she's a good on-ball defender for them. They've got Vernell Atema at their 4 spot that
Mhm.
just averages 18 points a game. So very, very good offensively. She is probably those are their two go-to players. So two kids that will have to step up and really guard on Saturday.
Coach, did you see much similarity between Northwestern and say Nichols? Because of the men playing at Nichols, the game before was the Nichols women versus SFA, and we got or versus Northwestern, excuse me, and they looked a lot alike.
I think they're built similar.
Hmm.
I think they play differently. Um, but I mean, there are some similarities. With their guards, obviously, and how they're really wanting to get downhill and get to the basket. Offensive structure will look a little different than what we saw versus Nichols,
Hmm.
but the end game is probably very much alike.
All right, very good. All right, anything else for you hit the road? I know y'all are going to be heading out soon as well.
Yeah, we practiced yesterday, practice day. Have had 2 really good prep days already. So we'll get our third one in tomorrow and hit the road.
Okay, good deal. Coach, thanks so much for your time as always. Thanks for bringing a friend with you. We're going to visit with Reza Po, the Lion guard, who was named the Southland Conference Player of the Week this week. How about it? Keep it here on Inside Lion Athletics. We'll be right back. Hey, everybody, welcome back. We've got more Inside Lion Athletics. We're starting out with basketball. We're still in basketball. Here's Reza Poe, who just turned in a couple of back to back scoring efforts that caught some attention. 57 points in the last 2 games, 33 on Thursday night, and then 24 more Saturday. Reza, how big was that basket that you were shooting at?
It was pretty big. I mean, most of the time it was kind of just like confidence and something that I've like trying to work on has been like being consistent from like the first quarter all the way to the fourth quarter instead of like being in the scoring mindset only like the first and third or like 2 minutes here and 3 minutes here. It was kind
Hmm.
of like trying to stay consistent throughout the whole game because like I think when I'm like locked in and like in the scoring mindset, like I can score. So, yeah.
Well, you got there that, and congratulations on the award, by the way. Those are really cool to come up with. So you grew up in San Bruno, out in California, the West Coast, and I think you told me it was you choose between soccer or basketball, and you had to eventually choose just one of those. But what about surfing? Didn't you tell me once that you did a little surfing out there too?
No, I have never
No,
surfed before.
never surf. Okay, I
Yeah.
couldn't get on a board and stay there either. How is the beach at San Bruno?
It's great. I live near one. Um, I go there whenever I can. And, you know, I've done a lot of beach workouts too. So I think it's pretty great. I love the water. It just, yeah, just good
Yeah,
vibe.
good deal. What workouts that are basketball related, or is it just to physical and stamina kind of stuff? I know running in sand is really good for that.
Yeah, I had AAU coaches that would make us run. It's called Fort Funston. It's in San Francisco.
Hmm.
Um, and you kind of just they just make us run up like this really steep hill as fast as we can, and it was just kind of that back and forth or like moving laterally on a hill. Um, but yeah.
Okay. Well, let's get back to this year. And, you know, right now, you and your teammates are in position to go to the tournament. You want to get a little bit higher seeding, of course, and there's plenty of time to do it. But how's this year developed for you as a squad, first of all?
Yeah, as a squad, I think we're moving the ball better. I think the past two wins, it's given us more momentum going
Mhm.
forward and confidence as well. Like I think we're finally clicking and like I mean, I haven't really played with these people last year, obviously. So I
Mhm.
think, getting along on the court, off the court, I think it's been pretty beneficial for us. And we're trying to just, use these past two games as a momentum to, look for more wins going forward.
How's the communication on the court? You and Amaya and Nina and Cora, y'all have got to communicate and get word into Tiani and Alva. Um, how long does it take a team to really get all the floor communications down easily?
I think about preseason time during those games, like we kind of started to understand each other, understand how, you know, each of us moves, how each of us thinks. So I think it made it easier. And I think recently, I think our huddles have gotten better. I think after every, inbound play, like before every inbound play, free throws, every time we stop, we kind of huddle and we say whatever we have to say just so, just to keep us all on the same page because I think we all play really well. Our offense flows and our defense flows when everybody's on the same exact page. So,
What part of your game do you feel is your best defensively? What makes you harder to get around than others?
I think I try to be in the right spot. I think, especially helping, I think as a smaller player, I'm not going to block any shots. So I think being in the right spot and kind of, being there to take that charge or like, just kind of communicating that, I think that would be my strength on defense.
I remember one in particular Saturday. You got steamrolled pretty good in the paint, but you bounced right up and had a big grin on your face. It's kind of a satisfying feeling when you make that kind of sacrifice, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's just taking a hit for the whole team. I mean, we all get a breather, we all get, you know, a reset on the possession. So, and sometimes we get the ball on the defensive end. So I think those sacrifices are worth it.
Absolutely. Okay, big games coming up. We've got Northwestern State first. Y'all have already seen a little bit of film on them, right?
Just a little bit. I've heard a couple things about them. I know they got a guard and a post, so I think everybody just has to do their job on both ends.
When you're getting ready for the next game up, do you wait on coach to kind of give you here's the I mean coach is always going to give you the plan, but you start looking at personnel and the people you're going to be matching up against and kind of thinking about that.
Yeah, I think we do pretty well. I think our scout is pretty good. I mean, we kind of look into every single player, and so we kind of have a good idea of them. And then when we practice, it's kind of you kind of get an idea of how they're gonna move or where they're gonna go and like their reads and everything. So I think it definitely makes it easier by the time we play them.
Okay. All right. I know we're running out of time, but Reese, you got to tell me this. So, Coach said that they tried to get you to come here to Commerce first, but you heard that New Mexico was just so beautiful. So you had to go to Albuquerque for a year, but then you decided to portal up and you found your way here anyway.
Yeah.
How did all that process work?
Well, actually, New Mexico was the only school that recruited me, so I ended up going to New Mexico. But that was the year I think Coach Val left.
Okay.
So she has seen me, but like it was New Mexico recruiting me. And then once she saw me in the portal, she picked me up. And I think the transition from New Mexico to here was kind of difficult simply because I wasn't the main player. I was kind of just, I was a bench player. I wouldn't get a lot of minutes. Sometimes I
Hmm.
wouldn't even play. And so I think the role that I play now, it's a much bigger role on the team. So I feel like it's difficult, but I mean, I think I have a good support system. I have a good coaching staff, good teammates, um, that got me here. And I think moving forward after the past two games, I think I've had more, confidence in myself as a player and playing in this role.
Good deal. All right. Hey, Risa, we will see you. Let's see. When are we going to run in? That'll be Thursday night, and that will be in Nacogdoches. Got
Yep.
SFA, and then Saturday at Northwestern State. Get ready to see a lot of purple. That's really all the advice I can give you. All right, Reza, let's line
All right.
up. We'll
Thank
get
you,
out of
Tyler.
here. Southland Conference Player of the Week, Reza Poe, Lion women's basketball. We'll be back with more Inside Lion Athletics after this. Welcome back, folks. We've got more Inside Lion Athletics. We're going to step outside for a little bit. Got basketball all out of the way. Softball's about to start, and holy cow, are they going to start a lot of it. Brittany Miller joining us, head coach of the East Texas A&M Lion women. Coach, last couple of seasons you played a lot of games on the road, but wow, East Texas A&M lead off classic. You'll have three other teams coming in this weekend, and y'all aren't going to waste any time stacking up games.
Yeah, we start off with 5 games this weekend, so we're excited. Weather looks like it's going to hold out, and so we're excited to get these northern teams down here and kick off our season.
I'll bet they were looking at some of the weather reports and saw that ice everywhere. You wouldn't have thought you'd have been playing on it a week later, though, the way it was.
Oh yes, yes, they are excited to get out of the negative degree weather, the low 20s, and come down here. And luckily, the ice has melted off the field, and we're ready to go.
Very well. All right. So tell us a little bit about the team. First off, this will be your first crack out of the box. Newcomers that you're expecting something from, returnees. Charlie Angers promised me 20 bombs this year already. So just so you know that you have that offense in your pocket.
Perfect. Yeah, no, our offense is looking really strong. We actually have quite a few that are able to hit the ball out of the park, and so we're excited about that. We got Aaliyah coming back with her power. Haley, we added Gracie, another arm behind the plate, also a power hitter. We got a good core returners coming back that are hungry for their senior season. And then we got some transfers and newcomers that are going to really contribute this year. Smaller roster size, so it's gonna be fun.
Coach, everybody says you build a team around pitching. How's our pitching look this year?
We're excited. We got a committee. So we got Maddie Muller coming back, who's hungry for her senior season and looking really sharp. We got Tori, Madison, Emma. Avery's gonna throw a little bit. Um, so we're excited. It's gonna be good. We got Jessica, coming from a JUCO, so we got enough arms. We're ready to go.
Excellent. Have you looked around the Southland Conference, or is that something you'll wait for the first 20 games to get out of the way?
No, we've been focusing on ourselves and what we need to do and stick to the process and, take pitch by pitch and just see where we are at the end of the game. If we're doing the things that we need to do and we're stacking those wins, then, at the end of the game, we're going to be ready to go. And, by the time we get to conference, we should be rolling in all cylinders.
Okay. All right. Bucknell is going to be the opponent in your leadoff game in the Classic. That's going to be on Friday, and first pitch at 3:45. You'll
Yes, sir.
see St. Bonaventure after that game. And then on Sunday, is that right? Yep, Sunday.
Saturday.
Saturday,
Yep.
South Dakota State at 6 o'clock. And you'll follow that up immediately with the Bonnies one more time with St. Bonaventure. And then Texas Southern, the last team that's in the leadoff classic, you'll get around to them on Sunday afternoon.
Yes.
What do you know about these teams?
They're scrappy. They're going to come out. They're going to put pressure on us. They've been practicing inside and on turf, so they're coming out here. Obviously, we have a full turf field, so they're used to that. But they're going to be outside, and we're gonna come out there and do our job, right? Like if we're taking care of ourselves, that's all that can really matters. Their pitchers are gonna hit their spots. Um, you know, they're gonna come out. They want their first wins too, just like we do. So they got newbies that they're kind of filtering in. So do we. But our girls are hungry. They're excited. So I'm excited about it.
All right, good deal. Coach, what about some of the other games on the slate? I'm scrolling through, got North Texas a few times. Be playing them as part of the Lion Classic in the third week of the month. St. Thomas is coming down. You're going to go out to California, I see. Tell us a
Yes.
little bit about that Judy Garman Classic. Florida, UCLA, Oregon State, Seattle, and Lion U.
Yeah. It's a good slate for us. Those teams are competitive. A couple of them been in the World Series the last few years, so it's a good look for us to go out there, recruiting wise, exposure wise, like that's all positives for us. And then our girls are excited to play top teams. They want to be at the top, so that's the only way we're going to be able to get there is to play those teams and see where we lay. So, that's a good tournament for us, a good mix.
It's a good recruiting tournament too for you, isn't it? Especially with Crystal Bustos. She's got some connections out there still.
Yes, we got lots of connections out there, and we have a lot of California kids, so it's going to be a good weekend for us.
All right. Scrolling further down, conference schedule is going to open up on March 6th. It'll be a home doubleheader against Southeastern and then the third game or another doubleheader the next day. But coach, when you get done with Southeastern, you're going to go play A&M Corpus, and along the way, I understand you picked up a game in Austin.
Yes, we're going to go down. We're going to break up the trip a little bit, and go play Texas, and Austin, and then finish our adventure down to Corpus and play the conference series down there.
So your last time to Red and Charlene McCombs Field, was it as a coach or as a player?
Coach.
Did you pitch there? You pitched against the Horns, didn't you, at some point?
At some point I think I did, but
Not in Texas.
no, not in Texas.
Oh, okay. How do games like that work out? I mean, they're in the middle of your schedule and you've just got a bus trip planned and you go, oh, look, we're going through Austin.
Exactly. We don't have a lot of midweek games that are, super drivable without
Hmm.
playing North Texas 100 times. So, or Arlington. So, when we're on our way down and, we could pick up some midweek games, it's easy to do as we're going down.
Okay. Fair enough. What are your thoughts on the league this year?
It's competitive. It's going to continue to be competitive. Everybody's raising the bar, and there's, all of the teams in our conference could win on any given day. And so it's really just who comes out, who shows up, and if your pitching's doing their job, you got an offense behind. to support that defense and pitching, then, you're going to come out on top. But it's going to be competitive. It's going to be fun, and, look forward to it.
Okay. Coach, weather's always going to be a consideration. Having an all-weather turf like we have is a real help to getting the games in, but you've got to work out too some days. Where do y'all go inside to do anything?
We'll utilize the gyms around town, so we can go quite a few places indoors to be able to get some throws in. Fortunately, this year we haven't had to go anywhere. We've been able to get on the field when we need to.
Very good. Well, we'll hope for the dry weather when it's supposed to be and wet weather when we need it. Coach, can't
Exactly.
wait to get out there and see them play. Good luck to y'all this weekend, and we will see you at the ball field.
Go
We're
Lions.
gonna, we're gonna line up here, folks, and we'll take a break and come back with more. We still have George Pincock and some more track to talk about on Inside Lion Athletics. We're back with more Inside Lion Athletics. Charlie Chitwood here, joined now by track and field head coach George Pincock. Fresh back from the mountain time zone. Y'all had a little meet out at Albuquerque at the University of New Mexico, and it wasn't a bad early season run, was it?
Super happy with it. We were disappointed that we didn't get the opportunity to go to College Station during the storm, but I think Mother Nature had some other plans for us and sent us to Albuquerque.
Well, good that you could find one. Is it just a thing in the track and field world that you can just jump into a meet at the
You know,
last minute if you can?
not always, over the last few years, some of these meets have become a little more selective of who they let in, the schools that they let in.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you'll see meets that are tailored a little bit more to the Power Fours. Sometimes the Division II schools want to serve the Division II schools. Um, so no, we feel very fortunate that we were able to get to Albuquerque on really short notice. Grateful for the administrative staff here that helped make that possible, and grateful for a good weekend of track and field.
Once you got, I take it y'all flew out there.
We hopped on the charter. We
There
did
you go.
we did it the
Oh,
old-fashioned way.
there, even better.
Yep, short
So
notice.
the yeah, that's really good. Well, tell her
Well,
how long did it take to get to the airport in that charter? It took the basketball bus a while to get from Commerce to Greenville.
we didn't leave till Thursday, so we were a little bit behind the weather. Most of it was
Yeah.
clear. We hopped on the bus at 7 a.m., made a trip, stopped in Wichita Falls, let them get out, walk around, move for a bit, made another stop in Amarillo, um, and then pulled into Albuquerque. So it was a long day, but it was kind of these digestible chunks here and
Yeah.
there. So, and again, we left early enough. We were in Albuquerque by about 6 p.m. Plenty enough time to sit and just continue to move around and not feel bad on Friday. Races started
Mhm.
late enough. They had more than 12 hours of kind of normal before races started.
On those bus trips, how long does it really take to kind of shake one of those off? Is it in a 12-hour segment like you were just talking about?
I think it depends on the person
Hmm.
a bit, but it also depends on, how you're kind of breaking those legs up. We try to teach our kids that if we're on the bus for, more than 2 hours or 3 hours, that we probably need to be up and trying to move on the bus a bit too. Uh,
Hmm.
and so just try to keep the day looking as much like normal as possible. You go to class, you sit for an hour, you get up and walk around, you go to another class and sit for an hour. You do that 3 or 4 times throughout the day. Well, let's try to make our bus ride look like that.
Okay, fair enough. Well, tell us about how they did. Who were some of the shining stars of the
Yeah.
weekend?
We had a Turkish national record out of one of our upperclassmen, Oguz Uyar. Great season opener for him in the 200. So I believe that's the fifth time he's broken his own record, and he just keeps chipping away at it. Uh,
Wow.
but it's also, I think right now it's a top 20 NCAA time. And hopefully we can kind of lower that again. And, I think he's got a shot at making NCAA nationals indoors, which is a tough meet to make.
Hmm.
But, we also saw some success on the women's side last weekend. A school record out of Anette Ranma in the mile run. Uh,
Hmm.
big PR at elevation. So that's a good sign of things that are coming to run even faster later for her.
Hmm.
And then one of our new athletes this year, Amara Adina, straight from France, been on campus for about 3 weeks.
Hmm.
Uh, School record in the 60-meter hurdles.
Just like that.
Yeah, just like that. Super talented. I don't want to take much credit there for that at all. Maybe I could give her a high five and said, "I think you got this," but she's very talented and looking forward to working with her a lot more. So,
Hey, you're doing plenty, coach. If you just say it to an athlete after a performance like that, I got
yeah,
your back,
yeah,
and you did good.
yeah.
Hey, tell us a little bit about O's and his work. And you and I've had conversations before about your career when you transitioned from athlete to coach, and how you said you just got tired of chasing tenths of a second. Um, but you got to teach somebody how to do that. And O's reestablishing his own national record a number of times made me think of that.
Yeah. If for him, I think he's motivated by that. He's very proud of it. If you ever look at a record book, you probably don't see the same guy breaking the record over and over and over.
Hmm.
And so I think there's a certain level of pride he has, and it motivates him to continue to break his own record, and to put it in a place that maybe no one else can touch for a long time.
Ah, that's great stuff and a lot of fun. How about the meet? So we're going to get to go down to College Station this weekend.
Mhm.
Um, did that meet get basically set aside for 2 weeks, or they went on
No,
without us?
no, they went on without us during the storm, and then this is another invitational that they have. So a great facility down there and the opportunity to host on their campus. So they take advantage of that.
Okay. Who's going to be out down there besides the Aggies and us?
Oh, I was looking at the list. You'll see a couple Southland Conference schools. I think Stephen F will be there, UTRGV, but you also have TCU, Baylor. I think there's a few other SEC schools coming in. A&M host the SEC championship at the end of the month. So there'll be some SEC schools that come in and kind of do a trial of what SEC championships will be like. So
Mm-hmm.
um, quality meet. Anytime you go to College Station, it's going to be a good meet.
Do you always see other members of the A&M system? Like, does Kingsville come up? Um,
Not always. But again, I think the A&M system's so big that it's
mm-hmm.
hard not to if you're trying to stay regional.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to Arkansas, you're going to see someone. If you're going to College Station, you're probably going to see someone. If you're going to Lubbock, you're probably still going to see people
Sure.
that way. So you'll see them. Whether the conference or even going back to when we were in the Lone Star, we can go to any of those places and we'd probably end up seeing a conference school or two at every meet.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. What else is on the slate? It's a short season. When you get done at
Yeah.
College Station, 2 weeks later, you're in Fayetteville for the Arkansas qualifier. And then all of a sudden, that's the end of the next week. It's the Southland Conference Indoor Championships over in Birmingham.
Yeah, it's going to happen really fast. February is going to be one of those months that's one weekend off and then competing everywhere else um, throughout the season, throughout the month. So, we'll just make sure that when we get to Arkansas, it's really kind of that final tune-up, kind of make sure that we have the marks that we need, we feel good about things, and hopefully leave Arkansas feeling more confident than when we got there, and then take that confidence with us to Birmingham.
Okay. Help people understand the difference of an indoor track from one facility to another. They're not cookie cutters by any means.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, most of the tracks that we'll get on are banked 200-meter tracks. Uh, However, if you Birmingham is a hydraulic track, so the raised portions of Birmingham can be lowered and the track can be made flat. They'll lower that for the 60-meter dash or the 60-meter hurdles. Uh, Facilities like Arkansas, like Texas Tech, Albuquerque. Those are permanent structures that stay banked uh,
Hmm.
throughout the meet, and all of them have slightly different radius of
Hmm.
the curve, slightly different height and inclination. So they all, I think, you'll feel similar, but you'll see people run faster in certain events at certain facilities because some of those items.
So is there a tangible difference when you're running on it between a bank track where it's built that way versus the hydraulic one?
There can be. Sometimes the permanent track feels a little more bounce to it. There's a little more give in the board, is where sometimes the hydraulic tracks feel a little flat. Yeah,
Do
you know,
you imagine how many times have you imagined having hydraulic bank track in the field house?
every day I walk in the building. Yeah, I was in Albuquerque and I was pacing the building, so I know the steps from left to right and front to back to make it fit.
Ah, excellent.
Every day for the last 11 years, Charlie.
Then all we need to do is sit down with Jim again and get it worked out.
We just need the right people in the room.
That's right. That's right. Hey, man, safe travels to y'all.
Yeah.
Best of luck down there and bring back some prizes.
All right. Thank you, Charlie.
All right, we're going to line up here, folks. George Pincock, head coach of Lion Track and Field, and they are getting busy on the indoor side. We'll be back. I believe our next guest is Oguz Uyar, or Oz as everybody calls him on the team. And we're going to visit with him and talk about breaking and breaking and breaking and breaking. And every time he breaks it, it's still his record, the Turkish national 200 meter dash. Welcome back, everybody. One last segment this week of Inside Lion Athletics, and we're going to do it fast because there's no way to do it slow with Oguz Uyar in the house. O's Lion Speedster, the 60, the 100 meter, the 200 meter. And what else are you running for George Pincock and Company?
I'm running 4x4 too. That's pretty new to me because I never run 400-meter before I got here. And
Hmm.
it was actually so exhausted too when my coach said my uh when Coach P said you have to run 400-meter. I was like shocked because I never done that before. But when I run for the school, especially when we got the conference champion in the first place, and we
Hmm.
broke the school record too with the 4x4 team. It was amazing. Like I can't describe that feeling. Like it was amazing, and I was like, okay, I can actually run 400-meter too.
When they ask you to go out, anytime they ask me to go over a 400, I was like, my hammies hurt. I don't want to run. That's too much pain.
You were
Hey,
just acting.
let's talk a little bit about why you're with us today. You have reestablished how many times? 4 or 5 times the Turkish national 200 meter dash record.
Yes,
And
correct.
that's pretty cool. It's also very fast. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay.
Have you
Mhm.
felt like you're building up to more record-setting performances?
So I would like to start at the beginning. So my first record in 200-meter indoor was 21:25.
Okay.
That was really good record for me because no one was expecting from me in Turkey. I was so new because I started that sport when I was 18. It's pretty late age to start to running track, right?
Yeah.
And then whenever I got here, it should be in 2023 to 2024 season.
Hmm.
I ran 21:06, which I broke my first record in United States. It was really amazing too. And then last year I broke twice, 2095, 2094. So these records are so important for me because I was the only Turkish athlete who ran under 21 second in indoor 200 meter, like ever in history. So that was so important for me. Let's talk about this year. This year I broke that again, which 2081. That was really good time for 200 meters, especially in indoor.
That's
Now
13 hundredths of a
last time
second
I
you shaved
checked,
off.
yeah, last time I checked, I was leading the Europe and I was eighth in the world for this time with
You've
the.
had some guys to run with and train with that are used to being at that level of performance. Why Commerce? How did you end up in Commerce, Texas?
That was so random, but when I talked with Coach B, like we were talking on a video call, right?
Hmm?
When I talked with him, like he was talking to, okay, I'm gonna get you from your family, but I'm gonna put you in my family. So that quote has got me actually. I can't forget that. And then I said, okay, I'm going to Commerce. I'm definitely going to Commerce. And I checked the team and everything. Like there was a lot of fast guys. So I said, like, okay, this coach is really pretty good, really good.
Good stuff. And apparently you've stuck around. This is your third year, right?
Yes, correct. I'm a
So
junior.
Commerce has been kind of good for you.
Yes, yes, it's working.
Now, it's a little bit different from your hometown. Tell
It's way
tell
different.
everybody about the city in which you grew up.
Okay, okay. So here is really, really different than my country in whatever I learn from everyone or whatever I see from
Hmm?
everyone, especially whenever people act or whenever they talk, whenever you talk, whenever my friends in here talk, they're like way different than what I used to see or what I used to hear it.
Hmm?
And then they're saying like everything bigger in Texas. That's actually true. We were stopped by at Bucky's in the first time when I come here in the first time with Coach B, and I was like, this gas station is huge. And then yeah, and we went inside, and then I see like, oh my God, that's like everything is huge in here. He he
Can you
he he
imagine
made some joke on me too.
87 flavors of jerky?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Like
just
there is a
don't.
lot of sauce too. I still couldn't understand. Like whenever we going to the in the restaurant, you're ordering something and they're asking like 1,000 questions. You want this sauce? Like they never do that in Turkey, so that was new for me too.
What foods have you really found that you like here that you'd never had before?
Um, I would say I never had Mexican food before, but I
Well,
went to
coming from Turkey.
yes, there was no Mexican foods in Turkey. Especially when I went to one country restaurant for I'm talking about the American food. There
Hmm.
was like baby barbecue rib with the barbecue sauce.
The baby
Oh,
back ribs.
yes, it was
Yeah.
amazing. It was amazing. I love it.
Yeah. Barbecue keeps a lot of Texans in
Yeah,
Texas.
yeah.
All right, so let's talk about what's coming up. You've got the meet down at College Station this weekend,
Mhm.
one more in Arkansas, and then you guys are going to be going to the conference indoor championships.
Yes. So the important one is conference. So we have to win the conference. I'm thinking really I can win the 200 meter this year, and I'm working on it. So I'm gonna focus on 200 meter more this year on conference, but I would like to break that record again. So I'm gonna skip this week of College Station, but I will compete on Arkansas and the conference championship. So I would like to win conference and I would like to break that record again
All
for
right,
indoor season.
the conference indoor season's not the end. You get to go to your favorite track, and that's the one that's out in the sunshine.
Yes.
Uh, how many opportunities are you going to have this year to establish new records and break some? Do you
I
run? Will you be? I mean, you get more relays in the outdoor season, don't you?
yes, we do.
Okay.
Relays are I really love to run relays with the team because last year we ran pretty good time with the four by two team and we were world lead. Then
Mm-hmm.
we won the Texas relays too. It was like amazing. So I'm gonna have two more opportunities to broke the record again in Arkansas and the conference. I'm hoping I can do in Arkansas because I love Arkansas. The field is amazing in there.
That indoor track of theirs is well known for
Yes,
a
correct.
long time, not just recently. So, okay. What else you got to think about? You told me before why you like outdoor more than indoor.
Mhm.
Um, Explain that one more
Of
time.
course, of course. So whenever you're running indoor, there is not much air, right? It's
Hmm.
you can't like actually breathe. I mean, doesn't matter whenever we're running, we're not actually breathing. Like whenever I run 200-meter, I'm like breathing three times, most
Hmm.
probably. You have to hold it, but doesn't matter. There's not enough oxygen to run. So that's why you're running slower in indoor and faster in outdoor. Outdoor, you can actually breathe because there is like a fresh air and oxygen in it, right? So
Hmm.
I love outdoor most because I'm getting more tired in indoor whenever I run in the indoor. Outdoor is better for me.
Okay, fair enough. Everything's a little bit different for everybody. Hey, man,
Exactly.
we wish you the best of luck when you go to Arkansas and then to the conference meet. And we look forward to seeing you on campus because the outdoor season's a little bit longer and we'll be
Yeah,
around.
correct.
All right.
Thank you.
Oz, Oguz Uyar. Let's lion up here. And folks, we'll see him around the track, but you better watch because he does it quick. That's going to do it for this edition of Inside Lion Athletics. Thanks for tuning in another week, coaches and athletes. It's just great to be talking about Lions. We'll see you next week.